Hey there, sophomores. It's Mr. Frye with a little mini seminar for your term paper. We are still going to do the term paper. Now, you may have heard that we're going past no pass for this remainder of the year, and that's true. So basically, the remainder of the year, and here we go. You first heard it here. I'm sure this will go around the class group text chat bits pretty quickly, but I'm not going to give you any more tests. No more tests. We're going to do weekly work and where you are doing the reading and watching some videos and giving me some feedback. And we're going to do the research paper. And that's it. That's what the rest of the year is going to be like. You'll hear today that the governor has announced that we're not going back to school for the rest of the year, at least not physically, but we will virtually carry on throughout the remainder of the year. So there's a couple big things. It's pass, no pass, and no more live school for the remainder of the year. Also, third quarter will be pass, no pass. And I would urge you, if you are failing, that you get in your missing work, because then I can pass you. If you're passing, that's basically a C or better. You're passing, and the tests are in the grade book, and yeah, you passed. So kind of changes the game a bit in terms of grades and what we do, but we're going to simplify things a bit and just focus on learning the rest of the story of world history and producing this paper, which will be a big portion of your grade for the pass, no pass of the last quarter. So yeah, that's where we're headed. So let's talk just a little bit about where you're headed next. On Monday, you're going to turn in an expanded outline. I'm hoping by now you've done more research and got more ideas, and maybe you even started drafting a little bit since 3 or 4 weeks ago when we last checked in. But it's time to start bringing this thing home in for a landing. So you'll notice on the schedule below me here, right there, that you have an expanded outline due a Monday. We'll talk a bit about that. That should really only take you about 30 minutes if you have your notes and stuff. You're just basically looking at them saying, okay, what's my plan? Maybe a little longer, depending on how detailed you want to go. By expanded, I mean more than just 3 ideas, but and again, we'll see an example in a minute. Then your first draft is due to me on April 22nd. For both the expanded outline and the first draft, you get points just for doing it. There's no wrong answer. The first draft should be at least 3 pages long, tight, double space. It'd be awesome if you could type everything you're sending in to me as well. Either just type it straight into the email or attach a Word document or a PDF or put it in Google Docs. We can work with all those. If you absolutely have to take a picture and send it, that's fine too. Typing is best. Now I want you to notice something on the schedule below, that I'm going to give you 2 weeks for writing. From April 15th to April 22nd, there'll be no homework assigned, and all you'll be working on is writing the first draft. That's a Wednesday to Wednesday space of time. You can also see this on the calendar that I sent out in the email a couple days ago. And by the way, if you haven't responded with a got it email to me that you got that calendar and the updated plan, would you please send that back? Just, hey, I saw it, I got it. So there's a few of you haven't sent that back in yet. But notice that you're going to have, before the first draft is due, a week, 7 days to work on that. And then before the final draft is due, you'll have another week of no homework scheduled to turn in the final draft. And so I really am trying to give you extended writing time, and so hopefully that works for you. Now, let's talk a little bit about the outline, right? So this is where you really want to lay out your plan. Before, you kind of had a rough idea. Now, hopefully you've been taking some notes and you've got a pretty good idea of where you're going with the story you're telling. Remember, this is history. So in one sense, you're telling a story. But since it's a thesis-based paper, it's a story with a point to it, a point that you were trying to prove. So your extended outline should look like this. You can see this over here, that you've got background and context as your introductory paragraph, and then the last sentence is your thesis. And then what are the big ideas of your story? Okay, and you might have 3 of them, you might have 4 of them, you might have 5 of them. Kind of depends on how you organize things. And each of those big ideas is a piece of the story that breaks down. Think about watching a movie, right? You might see a scene that lasts for 10 minutes. But there's 4 or 5 things that happen in it. Then you might see another scene, and then another scene, and another scene. And at the end of the day, that movie is made up of these chunks that make up the whole story. Your paper functions the same way. So what's your big idea that you're trying to prove that's part of your thesis? If your thesis has 3 big ideas, you're probably going to have points 1, 2, and 3. And then that's going to break down. I'll show you an example about that in just a second here. And so those of you then using the index card method, this is maybe where you take your cards and kind of lay them out on the floor and spread them out. And you got all these little chunks and facts and quotes and statistics and whatever. And you say, okay, this is this part of the story. This is that. And you sort of arrange your cards in stacks. That's one way to do it, especially if you're a visual person like me. Or you can make the outline first and then go mark your cards like 1A, 2A, BA, 2A, BA, 1A, whatever you want to do. Maybe you color code it. I don't really care how you organize it, but you want to lay it out so that when you start writing, you can literally take that first card and turn it into a sentence and off you go. Okay. Now, if you're taking notes without index cards, then probably want to make an outline and then go back and look at your notes and assign them to each part of the outline. And so I'll show you that in just a moment as well. So let's take a look at kind of what this should look like. And I'm going to, hopefully this will work here. Boop. I hope that worked. We'll find out. So on the right-hand side over here, you see sort of the idea I just told you. We'll apply it over here. Let's say we're talking about the Bolshevik Revolution. So maybe I scribbled down a couple ideas I want to put in my introduction. Russia's in chaos. There's some disastrous wars. The first revolution doesn't work. Okay. Those are just rough ideas, right? This is an outline. It's just a plan. It's just a scratch kind of idea. And then I put down my thesis, right? You already turned in a working thesis. Maybe that's changed and morphed and adapted by now. Okay, so the Bolsheviks succeeded in taking over Russia because of the incompetence of the Tsar, the human crises of war and hunger, and the failure of Kerensky to quickly and assertively establish a better government. Now you can see I've got 3 big ideas there. Okay, and so that's kind of gonna appear in my outline. All right. And so then my first big idea is going to be all about the incompetence of the Tsar. Okay. So that's kind of my point 1. And maybe I break that down to 2 sub ideas. Sub idea 1 under the incompetent royal government is some general problems with having a Tsar in the first place. And then my second idea, you see is B there in the green down below, down over there. Some specific things about Tsar Nicholas the second, who was the specific Tsar. And so I've broken that down even more. So what are the problems with Tsarist rule? Well, there's poverty, there's injustice, there's the elites lording it over the masses, right? So I might point out now some details that rich nobles have the land. Maybe I have a story to tell about that. Maybe I have some statistics about how much land they owned. Okay, maybe talk about things in the cities where they had factory serfs. Pogroms against the Jews and mistreating other ethnic minorities. These are all things that are injustice, right? So they fit under my 1.A.2, right? 1.A.2. So you can see there's 1A.2, okay? So then you have failed reforms, right? So I have some details about that. I might talk about Stolpen, right? Maybe you remember that from reading the Quest. Okay, and then my next supporting idea, B, some specific problems with Nicholas, right? He's indecisive, and so on and so forth, right? His wife pushes him around. He's got issues with this weirdo Rasputin. I get to tell the Rasputin story there, okay? So, and so that's my outline, right? So that outline might take me 10 minutes to write out, but that's gonna be 2 or 3 pages of my paper. Well, maybe 2 pages of my paper. Okay. When I write my paper, I know where I'm going. I know right in a row, in order, what I'm going to talk about, and so on through the rest of the outline there, crises of wartime, and so on and so forth. So so the red 2, red 3, red 4, those would all be broken down in more detail. Now your outline you turn in Monday may not be quite this detailed yet. Okay, so maybe you've got 1A, 1, 2, 3, and that's as far as you went. That's fine. That's fine. Do the best you can. You get points for trying. By the way, that process will also help you say, ooh, maybe I'm a little thin on point B2. I need to go find a little more research. So it'll also help you think through your last bits of research, because we want to be drafting this paper toward the end of April. All right. And so between April 15th and the 22nd, 23rd, we're going to do the first draft. It just needs to be 3 pages. It may not be complete, but we're going to get started, right? So I'm going to organize. I got my index cards all in order. I'm going to label my outline to my notes, or label my notes based on my outline. And then I'm going to start writing. You just got to write. And it can be ugly. That's why it's called the first draft. You can edit it later. Okay. But start throwing stuff down. If you're waiting for perfection to come to your brain before you write, you're never going to finish. Okay. So just start writing. And the beauty of writing on a computer is that you can rearrange paragraphs later. You can cut and paste. You can add things in pretty easily. But just start getting stuff down on paper. Okay. So if you took notebook notes, maybe you've got stuff from a book here by Fred Smith. You've got these facts about Putin. And so you look at your outline and you can see there on the right, going back and putting in the code for where that fits in my outline so that I know what to look for. What I tend to do is if I write about something, if I write about Fred Smith, page 11, Vladimir Putin was born to party leader dad, whose name is Boris. If I type that in my paper, when I've done that, I cross that out in my notes. I actually, here, let's see if we can illustrate this. Yeah, I actually would go back and say, all right, I did that. I don't need to do that. So that way, if I've done this and I've done this, and then I go back and say, oh, look, I forgot this piece. Let's go put that in this section here back in my paper. I can go back later through my notes and make sure I didn't leave anything out, right? So you want to use methods like this to keep yourself organized as you write. Organize, organize, organize. The more you pre-plan and take good notes and pre-organize, the more the writing will actually go pretty easy. And then, you edit it and you're good. So you're going to send that first draft to me. If you clean it up a little bit, that's nice. If it's really ugly, that's fine. I will probably give you some feedback. I'm not going to do all your editing for you. There's no way I can do that for 70 papers, but I'm going to give them a brief read through. If I see some things that I can throw in pretty quick, I'll send it back to you. If you put it in a Google Docs, I'll probably type it right in your Google Docs. Okay, so when you're writing, remember to put your citations in as you draft, even though it's only your draft. That way you don't have to go back later on May 12th at 1 in the morning and go, oh crap, where did I find that information? So if you have citations as you go, it's so much easier later on to go back and clean up your paper and not have to worry about all this extra work. Okay, so that's kind of where we're headed with the paper. Right now you have one thing to focus on. That is by Monday, get that extended outline to me. And again, full points for turning it in, but it allows me to look it over, maybe give you some feedback and say, hey, I've noticed a couple things you could do to make this better. All right, hang in there, kids. Keep calm, right on.